Hi, Andy. This is Marla from Shomrei Torah Jewish Hospital. I wanted to call and thank you so much for agreeing to come to sing songs for the kids after your festival show. We know you're incredibly busy, and we're just super excited to have you there in September after the festival. The kids are going to absolutely love it. I just know it. We know you're busy, but for you to take time for cancer patients who are children, they're kids, it's something really, really special. We're incredibly grateful. You're the best. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hey, Andy, this is Bill Dunbar down here, the promoter at Get Out Festival. I want to tell you I found out you were doing a little charity event for kids down here, and I want to tell you we're going to have to go ahead and cancel that. We have something in the South called a radius clause, and any positive press you generate will have to go through our official name 30 days before and after the festival. Also, due to our radius clause, you will not be having sex 30 days before or after our festival. Basically, we don't want you having sex in our town. We're not going to tell you why, but I think you can figure out why, okay? It has a little bit to do with your background. And 3, no more kissing your bandmates. You know what? Actually, that's okay. We're coming around a little bit on that in the South. You can go ahead and you can kiss all you want. If you have any more questions, just send your manager our way. We know that he will bend to our will so he doesn't lose any of our connections for his other artists that are more likable here in the South.
All right, and we're live. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. I'm Andy Frasco. How's our heads? How's our minds? Are we staying out of trouble? Are we feeling good about ourselves? I think that's the most important thing. We got to feel good about ourselves. You know, we could always do everything to distract us from our heads or do everything to distract us from how we actually feel, and we could give all this love to everyone else, but we have to take a step back and realize, how are we feeling? So why don't we take a step and realize, take a deep breath right now and realize, and ask yourself how you're feeling. I'm out here in like buttfuck Utah right now, almost done with this tour, this little mountain run, watching the fucking lightning go. You know, something about lightning is very therapeutic. I could just like zone out. And I was thinking about this, so I started recording. I'm like, how am I feeling? You know, I'm a little tired. I had to deal. I fucking got food poisoning last week. I had a gig, like fucking 2 or 3 shows while I'm just puking and fucking it's coming out of everywhere. I know it's gross to think about, but I had to rock. Rock and roll does not take a day off. So I was thinking like, damn, you know, is all this worth it? And you're like, oh no, Frasco's about to quit right now. No, I'm not about to quit. I'm just saying, you got to know how you're feeling about things, because life is going to push you. And if you're doing something and you don't want to do it, and when life brings you down like this, then it's going to be a lot easier to quit. And I'm thankful I do something I love. I'm thankful that I do something that I really care about, that all these hard things are just testing me to see how badly I want this. Well, I fucking want it, people. Let's go. We got this. We're in this. No stomach flu. No all-night bender is going to stop me from getting out there and rocking the next town, because you got to find what you love. You know, I think that's the most important thing. You got to find what you love. And if you don't know what you love, that's okay too. You got to keep searching for it. I mean, what's the point? What's the point of living if you can't really do what you want to do? I know that's selfish to say. A lot of people are like maybe stuck in a relationship or stuck at a shitty job. And that's okay. I mean, you're doing it for different reasons. Probably doing it for love. Maybe you want to stay in the same town. Maybe your parents. You know, there's a lot of reasons why, you know, we get stuck. And it's okay. Just make sure when it comes down to it, you're doing things because it makes you happy. However way however way it makes you happy. You know, maybe what makes you happy is making other people happy. Maybe what makes you happy is supporting your family, or maybe what makes you happy is staying in that same town because your parents don't want you to leave. All that stuff's fine, you know, as long as you feel good about it. But the minute you don't feel good about it, that's when we got to start making moves. That's when we got to say, you know what? Not today, devil. We're going to get out there and we're going to find what we're looking for, even if it takes us fucking till we're fucking 80 years old, 90 years old. You know, I love when I see old ass people just still fucking hiking or playing fucking pickleball or like, you know, working. Like my grandpa worked until he was 90 years old. I remember he had like a lung cancer or something. And he was like, he was on his deathbed and he was still talking to me about business investments. He's like, I got this property, Andy. I think we could go in on it. And I'm like, Grandpa, you're dying. That's what kind of man he was. That's what kept him alive. Find stuff that will keep you alive. Because the minute we stop learning about ourselves, the minute we stop, you know, the minute we stop using our brain, I think that's when we start dying. When we start being compliant. You know, I was feeling that a little bit. You know, it's like I was having a rough patch with my manager. I'm having this existential crisis right now because I like to work. I like to be in there, I like to manage and stuff. But sometimes how I work is not is not healthy when I'm having a business partner. And it gets me frustrated, you know. It's like I was born to work. I was born to like change this industry up. I'm not just here to settle just because the idea of the music industry is having these suits run it. I mean, I want to find out a new music industry or new entertainment industry where the artists have the power as well. And like we're afraid. A lot of people don't want to learn the business, which is crazy to me. Like you're in a music industry, you're in the music business, or you're in the entertainment business, and some of these artists don't want to learn the business. They just want to do the art. And it's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy, man. I want to teach artists that we are in control and we have the front seat as well, you know? So I don't know how I got onto that rant. I was thinking about how a lot of these musicians and these artists got fucked, and I'm talking with Sasheer Zamata. She's on the show. Sasheer Zamata. SNL. She was on SNL for 4 years. She's an amazing artist. And we talk a little bit about the actors' strike, and we talk a little bit about what's going on. And I'm glad that actors are fighting for this thing. You know, the royalties for Netflix and the streaming is fucked. And especially they were telling me about the AI stuff, which is crazy. Like musicians don't have to deal with this kind of stuff yet. But I mean, I see all these fucking videos where like all these AIs like Tupac singing Frank Sinatra. I'm like, oh fuck, we're done for. Here we go. It's pessimistic Frasco. I'm like, we're fucked, guys. We're fucked. But Sasheer was talking like you gotta take the power back, and I'm glad they're striking. Musicians don't strike, because we don't have a union. At least like the actors and the writers guilds have a union. So shout out to all the actors out there fighting for those screenwriters. Shout out for the screenwriters. Fight. Damn, this lightning is fucking wild out here. And I think the earth is fucked right now, dude. It's like 120 some places, and there's lightning and flood. And I'm like, what the fuck? Aliens are coming. Let's go. It's about to be wild these next 5 years. I have a feeling. Enjoy the ride, people. That's what I'm saying. There's no point of waiting to be happy. What if like the fucking world ends? You know, if it ends, whatever. I mean, it's a scary thing to think about. But if it ends, don't be at that last moment of life thinking I could have just stopped overthinking in my head. I could have fucking made that gig. I could have done that piece of art. I could have fell for that girl. I should have chased that girl, or I should have fucking said I loved my parents. Don't be that person when the end is coming. I'm not trying to be saying the world's going to end, but even like in your life, if you're 90, if we make it, God forbid we made it to 90, like hallelujah if we make it to 90, 100, just make sure that when you get to that ending point, the final countdown, that you're not regretting anything. So you got to get out there while you have energy. Get out there and fuck shit up. And that's all we got, right? To fuck shit up. Let's go get it. You know? So there's my rant. All right. Sorry, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Sasheer got me all pumped up. People fighting for artists and shit. But, you know, someone's got to fight for us. Or we're just going to get stepped on. You know? A lot of people there's not enough money going around in entertainment anymore because, that if we don't take a step and if we don't, take the power back, we're just going to get stepped on. So learn your industry, learn how royalties work, learn how to book a tour, learn how to manage a band. I know this is like, it'll frighten your managers a hair, but whatever. Learn all this stuff so when they send you contracts, you just don't say, oh, yeah, that sounds good, and then they send it to a lawyer. Like, read all that shit. Don't be fucking lazy about that because there's a lot of musicians who's gotten fucked because they didn't read the contracts. Our man George Porter lost all his royalties when he was a kid because he was so excited to be a rock star. And the record labels and the publishing companies fucked him. We have all this knowledge now. If you don't want to read it, have AI read it for you. Let's take advantage of AI. Say, hey, AI, ask AI, show them the contract. Say, am I getting fucked right now? Maybe AI will be like, well, actually, this part of the contract is not safe for art, blah, blah, blah. However way you're going to learn. Read All You Need to Know About the Music Industry by Donald Passman. I read that when I was in 8th grade, and it changed my life. And I read Guerrilla Marketing. When I was in 8th grade, I loved the music industry so much. I wanted to know everything about it. I still don't understand publishing. It's kind of weird to me, but I'm learning. And I'm asking. Floyd is like the master at publishing. He scores all these TV shows and stuff. So I always pick his brain a little bit, what's going on. But know all this stuff. So when your managers, if you have a manager, or if like a company comes to you, you're prepared. And you're not just going to say yes to everything and then you're going to get fucked. So that's anything in life. Prepare for the worst. Prepare for the best, but most importantly, prepare for happiness. Because we always settle. And what's the point of settling anymore, I'm done just settling. That's why we get so heated up sometimes. I'm like, I'm fucking done settling. I want to fucking live. I want to have passion. I'm done being bored. I'm going through this little boredom in my life right now. It's like, I've done this shit. I've been to every town, And it's all my brain. It's not everyone else's. I mean, life is mundane. We got to find the beauty in the little things, or find a new way to look at things. We got to, if you feel like your mind state is getting bored, find a new way to look at it. Like maybe when you're looking at a flower, all you're looking at the petals first. Now maybe look at the twig or whatever the fuck that's called, or maybe look at the thorn. Look how pretty that thing is that could hurt you. Find details in life. I think that's how we're gonna not be bored. Because I was going through this, I'm like, damn, I'm fucking bored. I've been doing the same gigs, I've been in the same towns, and I didn't know if there was gonna be an end. I'm just gonna keep doing this circle. And I'm a guy who likes to fucking. What's up, Sean? Smoking weed? Everyone's in here. Yeah. I'm a guy who likes to always have some new shit going on. I like to keep my brain healthy. I like to keep my brain moving. I feel the minute I get stale is the minute I start thinking about these deep, dark, depressing things. That's why I always work so much. I think because the minute I just keep my brain still, it goes dark because I'm bored. And I don't want to be bored. I love what I do. I love my work. I have to change my mind. Like I said last Monday about perspective. I'm saying all these Monday motivations for myself as well, people. It's not like I know all the fucking answers. I'm just as confused as everyone else. I'm just asking myself these questions so I can, try to stay happy forever, or that's not existing. You're never going to be happy forever, but at least I can know how to control my sadness and try to get back to happiness. And that's just asking those questions. And that goes back to the beginning of this little sermon or whatever. You got to ask what you want. You got to know what you like, and you're not going to know what you like if you don't ask yourself these questions. What makes you happy? Why am I doing this stuff? What do I need to do to improve on the stuff that makes me happy so I don't get bored about it? I love writing songs. I love being on stage. I just gotta, like anything in life, when you do something for so long, you start overthinking it. Like, oh my God, there's way more. I'm like, I never had a girlfriend. Well, no, that's wrong. Jill was my girlfriend. But like, I've had one girlfriend. I'm 35 years old. I've distracted myself with all the music, and then I hit this point in my, when I turned 35, I'm like, oh fuck, I've been doing one thing forever, and then I got a little freaked out. I think that's why I got bored. And I woke up from that little nightmare in a sense, and said, all right, maybe I should find some more love in my life. Maybe I should, get better at the piano. All these stuff, that keeps us inspired. We got to stay inspired. We got to keep going in life. The minute we feel stale, try to find something else that gets you where you need to be. Because I don't want people to end sooner than they should. That's all. So keep going. Keep fighting. Keep doing things for you. And, everything will fall into place, I swear. All right. We got a great show for you. Sasheer Zamata. She is a badass. I love that she wanted to be on this show. I'm inspired by her heavy. She's an SNL. She's a stand-up comedian. She's a writer. She was on that show Woke. I mean, she is the shit, and I think you're going to really love this conversation. We talk about anxiety. We talk about the writer's strike. We just talk about life as an actor. I mean, she grew up a Navy kid. She traveled around, and she didn't really have a home. She kind of reminds me of Sean. Sean didn't have a home, too. He's got moved around every 3 years. So you're going to really love this interview. Our sponsors. Here we go. Dialed In Gummies. Yes, our people. Me and Nick, they're very nice. They're helping us with our race for Indiana 2034. Dialed In Gummies were made special gummies, special edibles for Nick and I. They say Frasco 2034 on them. Mine are good. I hate to say this, but I think Nick's flavors are a little better than mine. I got a little too courageous with my flavors. Nick's he went simple like he always does, just fucking, hit the basics. And his are, I forgot what they're like strawberry or something. They're really good. And so if you're in the Denver or Colorado area, they're everywhere. Go grab our Frasco 2034. I think mine's called Frasco Annapolis, and I think I forgot what are mine called, but Nickiapolis, and I have mine. So go out there and go try them out and let me know what you think of them. Also, if you really want to get down and dirty, go to volume.com, guys. Want to see the lightning hit while I'm staring at the lightning. Want to watch Sasheer spill her heart out about the industry. Head to volume.com and watch this interview on video. And they're all stockpiled. So maybe you want to re-listen to the podcast, but you missed a couple things. Put it on while you're cleaning. Put it on. Get out there. And if you're a content creator, why don't you sign up for volume.com? I mean, it doesn't hurt to get more content out there. Live streams are extremely important. Nowadays, getting your stuff online is important, so you might as well, YouTube, there's billions of videos on YouTube. But if you go to all these different sites like Volume and put your stuff out on there, it's only going to help because every site has a fan base too, just like YouTube. Might as well get your stuff on volume.com. Or if you're not a content creator, go and just watch all the live streams. I mean, there's so many good shows on there. There's so many live shows. You got Daniel Donato shows. You got George Porter shows. You got all these great shows that are stockpiled on that website. So go check out volume.com and go watch the greatness that is in our music scene. And like I said, all our podcasts are stockpiled in there as well. I got a couple more shows in the next couple weeks. I got to promote this one. Yuba, Wisconsin. People Fest. People of Wisconsin. I'm coming back. It's like 2 hours from Madison. I'm playing there August 11th. A lot of great bands, a lot of bluegrass bands, all my friends, Leftover Sam and yada yada. Infamous String Dusters, I think. They're all playing this festival with us. Wisconsin, show up. Let's go eat some fucking cheese. Let's vibe. You know what I'm saying? Let's go out there. I'll be there on the 11th. I get there on the 10th. I'll be partying in Madison the night before. If you guys are in Madison, hit a brother up. And then 8/13, I am at Red Rocks Amphitheater. Yes. Power set. I'm playing for like 40 minutes. And we're the second of 4 bands. So get there early. I think it's almost sold out, but I think there's still like 800 tickets left, but it's going to be 10,000 people. I'm bringing my A game. I'm going to show the reggae scene what the fuck is Gucci? You know what I'm saying? Come on, I'm bringing my A game. Like, Frasco, I want to talk about this right now. Frasco. Doesn't matter if you have an hour and a half set. Doesn't matter if you're an opener. You will bring that fucking headline energy to that fucking venue. The Rocks is mine. I'm taking no prisoners. I'm going out there. I'm kissing babies. I'm crowd surfing. I'm doing the whole fucking 9 in 40 minutes. Jesus. That's crazy. A lot of those bands... Oh, I feel bad for pop punk bands. There's like 6 fucking bands on each one of these shows. They're all playing like 20 minutes. Like, how do you get seen? But, you know, that's why I was thankful to be in the jam scene. I get a little spread. I get a little... People like want longer sets, but in the reggae scene and the fucking pop punk scene, they're like, nah, you get 20 minutes or I'm like, all right, whatever, bro. Cool. Then we are heading to the Dinosaur Festival, Legends Valley, Ohio, Secret Dreams. That's going to be dope. Next week is an episode for Secret Dreams. We have Maddie O'Neill on the show. We talk about Secret Dreams. It's going to be a Secret Dreams sponsored episode. So we'll talk a little bit more about it. If you don't know what it is, it's in Legends Valley. If you don't know where Legends Valley is in Ohio, it's a fucking awesome venue. This is, the Stones have played there. I think the Dead have played there. A lot of great fests. This is like more of an EDM festival, Secret Dreams, and they're putting us on late night. Throw some curveballs. I shout out to those guys for letting me play it. Let's fucking go. We love to see it. We love to see variety at festivals, not the same fucking shit like normal. So head to Secret Dreams on 8/17. I'll play in the late night. And then Chicago, I'm coming back. Cultivate Fest. It's a new festival hosted by Riot Fest. We're opening for Jizza. Wu-Tang, baby. Come on, let's go. Frasco and Wu-Tang, let's fucking go. That's fucking exciting. And in Chicago, I fucking love Chicago. That's August 25th, people. Come on out. All right, I've been on for 20 minutes. Guys, I love you. Stay safe. Stay sane. Don't let the demons in your head get you down. They're demons for a reason. You could always shoo them away with kindness. Just got to be kind to yourself. You know, sometimes we don't get kind to ourselves. That's fine. But just be a little kind to yourself. That's all I'm asking. Because this life is too hard already for you to be not kind to yourself. Everyone's going to be throwing shit at you, marinating in it. You're going to have shitty times with your jobs, shitty times with your relationships. But at the end of the day, you're the one who has to put yourself to bed. Anyway, stay safe. Stay sane. I love you. Enjoy Sasheer Zamata. This is going to be a great interview. A little different than the musicians, but it's a star-studded show. We're getting bigger and bigger. We got fucking stand-up comedians from SNL. Let's fucking go. Let's go. All right, guys. Enjoy it. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week with Maddie O'Neill.
What's up, Sasheer? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's it going out there in Mexico? You just taking a vacation?
I am. Everyone's on strike. I'm sure you've heard.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of this obligatory break.
Right. Do these strikes stress you out, or do you feel like there's going to be a resolution?
I really hope the fact that the actors and SAG have gotten involved, that puts pressure on the studios, but also I have no idea. I've never been through one of these. I've witnessed them. There was a writer's strike years and years ago, but I wasn't in the guild yet, so I have no idea.
Aren't unions crazy? It's great to have this companionship, but it must be scary that someone's leading this thing, and hopefully they're leading it into the right direction, you know?
Yeah. And our leader is the nanny, you know? So we're I hope. You know?
Yeah, I hear that.
I hope.
Yeah.
What has the nanny done? I mean, she's done a lot. She's doing great, but it is
yeah,
we're just waiting for the nanny to get things done.
Yeah, it's you're looking at the emails in the morning, well, when is this going to happen? Is this going to? They're saying it might last all year. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, because nothing. I mean, there is a lot of content out there, but I feel like eventually no new stuff will be created. So
right.
I would hope that also the people, that the patrons who are watching this stuff also put pressure on the production companies, and they realize how valuable these artists are.
Right.
I have hope, but I'm also like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you want to explain kind of what's going on in the industry of hair, so at least my listeners who don't know what's going on with the strike is at least on board?
Yes. A couple months ago, the Writers Guild of America, they went on strike. And there's a list of negotiations that they wanted that weren't met by the producers and the studio heads. And some of those things were like, regulations on the use of AI to create things, because there are already
shit is wild,
ways
dude.
that AI can like write screenplays, and then that puts writers out of jobs, which is crazy. I saw a tweet recently that was like, can some of this AI like clean the plastic out of the ocean, or do they all want to be screenwriters?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Exactly. Like, yo, why can't we use these AIs for something like not, that could at least like help us live for another 1,000 years,
Truly, they all want to be artists. Like, what's happening? Use them for something good.
Oh man.
And so yeah, like things like that, residuals. Like TV has changed a lot over the years, and it keeps changing. Like, we used to only have 3 channels, then there was cable, then there was streaming. So like each time something changes, new rules need to happen.
Right.
But we like came upon this streaming boom, and things didn't get updated. So there's like, you can write it on a show, but then you don't get residuals for that show. And you used to be able to sustain your livelihood by being a writer on one show, because you got residuals for every time that was played on cable TV. But on streaming, they don't count numbers like that.
They don't count numbers for like Netflix and shit?
I mean, I think they have numbers, but they haven't like broke it down in a way that makes sense of like how much residuals to give their writers or their actors or anything like that. Or even like if you had a show that was on network TV that is now on a streaming site, you may not get residuals transferred now that it's on a different platform.
That's so that's some robbery shit. That doesn't taste well.
Yeah, and so the actors are doing essentially the same thing. We have the same request, and which also includes scanning ourselves. Like there's different production companies who want to scan the likeliness of background actors or actors and use their image in perpetuity. So like, and I used to be an extra. I started as an extra. So like, say for example, I did a job on like CSI or something, and then they scanned my whole body and my face, and then my career went the way it went, and now I'm an actress. They still have my image, so they can still like plug me into whatever episode or movie or whatever, because I signed off on it because they have my image, or my voice,
right?
And that's
a little sketchy.
For that.
Yeah, you make your money. Like, yeah, Harrison Ford looks young as fuck in all these things now. Like that man is like 100 years old. He's looking like he's 50 again. I'm like, this is some Terminator shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is like, if you sign off on that, that's okay. But there's like some tricky stuff happening where people aren't aware of how much their likeness is going to be used. So
right. And it goes back to like
regulation.
that. I know, and it goes back to like, it's like kind of like the gold rush. No one knew what was going on, or like the internet boom.
Yeah.
No one really knew what was going on, so they're like, oh yeah, this is just a likeness thing, kind of like this, and then they realize, oh shit, I'm in a database that's gonna use my likeness forever. I'm not gonna get paid.
Truly. And also actors are like the easiest to take advantage of. We're hungry. We're desperate for jobs.
Yeah.
And I think from people on the outside of this, to some people, I think they're like, oh, these greedy actors, they're making millions of dollars. But we're not talking about like Brad Pitt.
Tom Cruise.
Millions of dollars. We're talking about the working actor who needs this to pay rent, or like who's like doing 5 different shows in a week where they have 5 lines for each thing. And they're just trying to like make ends meet. We need there's so many people who just need to be able to make like their livelihood, and they can't because they're not getting paid accurately.
And the producers like, screw it, we're just gonna have computers be the background. That's what's fucked up. That's so fucked up.
Some of them are like that. Yeah,
I saw some greedy. I saw like what I saw like some quote, one of the producers or one of the networks were like, yeah, we're just going to let them starve. I'm like, what?
I know. It's so cruel. I mean, I think there's like a disconnect because they're not like really thinking about the humans that are involved. They're thinking about the numbers and the like. They can plug anybody in or anything, any AI in, so they don't care.
And
I mean,
to be honest, too, like when have they ever?
Callous.
I mean, to be honest, when have they
ever cared?
Yeah, when have they ever cared about fucking humans? They're just caring about dollars, and that's what's sad about this country. It's like we're so worried about the profit line that people are starving in the streets over, and art was supposed to be to heal people, and the artists that were making the art was supposed to be, to show people that there's a different way of thinking, and the people fucking them is just like it's such bullshit.
Yeah, but I think the pendulum will swing in the other direction. Like I think, like the power of the crowd of the consumer is really powerful. Like I like the fact that like I don't know, The Flash didn't make any money in theaters because people were like, no, we really meant it when we said we don't want to see this movie.
Yeah,
and that like affects the studio. That affects them. So like I think. I feel like I'm seeing more people in the general public say things like, I don't actually want AI to create my art. Like whenever I see like a post that's like Gucci used AI to make an ad, like all the comments are like, why?
Yeah.
So you didn't want to pay like a photographer, models, makeup artist, a location. Like cool. We're just seeing how cheap you are.
Yeah.
And that's like the general population. So it does give me hope that people are like, I don't want to watch a TV show written by AI. I want to feel a human's experience because I'm human and I want to connect to that.
Exactly. I'm going to clap to you. Let's fucking go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. That's what I like to hear. Art is about the human experience. And you could do whatever you want to talk, how to go sideways or take the long road to it. But at the end of the day, that's why art is so beautiful, because it is the human experience.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And you're also a podcast host. Aren't people like, I heard you can't even do podcasts. You can't be guests on podcasts. Like you have a podcast with Nicole.
I do. Yeah.
So are you still doing
it? We are still doing it.
Yeah.
We are not allowed to talk about like specific, like we can't talk about SAG stuff, SAG produced stuff. So we can't be like, here's a recap of this show we watched. We can't like do that because that would be outside of the strike guidelines. But if we're just talking to each other, which is what our show is, like our show is best friends. We talk about our friendship, other people's friendship. That's fine. That's like outside the guidelines. So we're still good to do the show. We just have to be careful. Like if we're like, oh yeah, I saw a movie, and we're like, nope, I did it.
Oh my God. I wonder how. Yeah, I mean, you can't even promote movies right now. Like, what are they really thinking? Like, what are these people thinking? Like, your actors aren't getting involved.
Really hits them hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the Emmys are coming up soon, and like the nominations were just announced, but no one can promote their show, and no one can promote their nominations. So I'm hoping that like really shows how powerful our presence, our faces, our voice is, because like people are aware of the show, but they also need to be promoted too.
Right.
So
we're taking the power back. We're taking the power back. Let's fucking go.
Take the power back.
I love it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, enough serious talk. We could. I don't want you to get. I don't want your union to point a finger at you like, don't be talking about this stuff. So, but I'm like, no one's gonna give a shit. I do want to talk about like your younger life. I do want to talk about. I got a lot of things I want to talk to you about. I'm a huge fan of you. I think you're super talented, and everything you do is just amazing. And I want to first talk about, you grew up in Japan. Were you like a Navy brat or what?
Air Force.
Air Force.
My dad was in the Air Force. Yeah.
He was a colonel?
I was born in Japan. He retired as a lieutenant colonel. Yeah.
Was he strict?
Yeah. So.
How strict was he?
He actually wasn't.
Really?
He actually wasn't. No, he was the lax parent. My mom was the strict one.
Because she was with like, you all the time.
Chill. Yes. I think, because there would be times where he would have to bounce back and forth between like where whatever base he had to go to and home. So I think he was like like, hey, I hope you're still doing good. Like, as long as you're like, okay, I'm good. So yeah.
Did you move around a lot?
Yeah. I was born in Japan, then we moved to Lexington, Kentucky, and then San Antonio, Texas, and then Hampton, Virginia, and then Riverside, California. And then my parents split, and me, my mom, and my brother moved to Indianapolis, Indiana. And that's where I stayed for like middle school and high school, and my mom's still there. And then I moved to Virginia for school,
College?
with UVA.
Yeah.
College, yeah. And then moved to New York, and then LA.
Nice. Moving around so at such a young age, was it hard to like find friends? Was it hard to like communicate? Or were you someone who was very outgoing and you could find friends wherever you were?
I do think I developed a skill where I could make friends. Like, I never liked being the new kid, so
Yeah.
I like would quickly latch on to somebody. But I was generally shy, and then I think knowing that I had to leave soon, like made these relationships superficial because I was like, I'm leaving, so like why would I deepen these relationships or like try to like actually like have best friends if I'm gonna go in like a year? So.
Was it hard
That's something I had to work on in therapy.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, my guitar player he was a Navy brat, and it's hard for him to build relationships because he was always moving, and it was like resentment towards his parents, and like, you made me move all the fucking time, and blah blah blah. And I really think that it's very hard as a child to because you're still building how to have a relationship with everybody. So, have you ever latched onto a friend when you moved into some town and realized, oh, this is a psychopath? I picked the wrong person to latch onto.
I did. I latched onto a girl in Virginia, and we were best friends. But it was like second grade, so like I don't even know what our qualifications were for best friendship at that time. But we were just like, had such a strong bond, and then we stayed pen pals for years. Like, I kept moving around and we kept writing each other. And then I was visiting Virginia, visiting some family, and we agreed to meet up. And I think we were like in middle school at this point, and or maybe fifth grade or something. And we were so different. Like, she was very like, I don't know, into boys and a cheerleader, and like, which is nothing wrong with that, but I was like so not that. I was very shy and like not even thinking about boys. I was like, how many more books do I read before I get to college? And
what
so
books were you reading?
What books was I reading? I was reading Fear Street. I was reading a lot of like Goosebumps.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're the same age. So yeah, that was R.L. Stein was
Yeah.
So continue with this Virginia story. So she was it just wasn't working.
We hung out. We tried to hang out. It was very sweet, but I think we both realized, like, oh, we have grown apart. We are not the same people we were in second grade. So it's okay if we drift apart. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one I tried to stay in contact with, and then I was like, never again. Yeah. Why am I doing that?
Is it hard to communicate?
Yes and no. I think it depends on the scenario. Like, I have social anxiety, so it depends on the day, my mood, like how many people are around me that I know, how many people that are around me that I don't. But I've had panic attacks in parties where I know everyone, but I just really can't predict it. But I also feel so comfortable in front of strangers. Like, I do stand up, so like. Sometimes I feel more comfortable being on stage speaking to like hundreds or thousands of people and being fine. But if I'm like at a bar and someone I kind of peripherally know talks to me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like sweating.
Do you think psilocybin helped with your social anxiety?
What's that?
Do you think psilocybin helped you? I read an article about how you like shrooms and how I take psilocybin because I had social anxiety as well, and I can't be in, and that helped me actually like not fear the stranger next to me sometimes. But it's so weird because I have that same complex where like I could go play for thousands of people and entertain, but if I'm at a bar by myself, I'm like heart palpitating. I don't want to talk to this fucking guy, you know? Did you think it helped a little bit?
I've honestly never thought about it like that. I feel like I've gotten many benefits from mushrooms. I'm not sure if I can tie it to social anxiety. Maybe. I have like, I feel like my anxiety journey is something I'm like still working through and discovering on how to manage. Like, I had these palpitations for years and didn't know what they were, and then they like increased during the pandemic, and I was like, I gotta check this out. Like, I thought I had a heart problem, which thankfully I did not. Like, I went to the doctor, had to wear a heart monitor, and did all these tests, and they were like, no, there's nothing physically wrong with you. It's your brain. I was like, oh, good.
Like everyone else. What do you
Good.
What do you think what happened in the pandemic that made you start overanalyzing, having a little more anxiety, a little more depression? What was going on?
I think I was just doing a lot of like self-analyzation in general. I was doing more meditation and therapy and group therapy, and I think I was just like in my head a lot. And then also like in my house a lot. Like, everyone was in their house, and I love being home. Like, I was like thriving during the pandemic. I was like, oh my God, I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to lie when I'm getting invited to places. I could just be home. This is amazing. And then I guess like people coming over or me going outside, or that like was creating a new level of anxiety that I didn't anticipate. So I think it was like a mixture of a lot of things.
Were you in New York during the pandemic?
No, I was in LA.
Okay, cool. A little more spread out.
Yeah, I had like outside space to go to, which was really nice, and parks.
Yeah.
I guess there's parks in New York, but there I did have more space. But yeah, I think once I actually went to the doctor and they're like, I think this is like linked to anxiety, just putting a name on it did help ease it a bit. Because when I did get palpitations, I'd be like, okay, so you're feeling anxious about something. And it would kind of die down. And yeah, I think just like understanding it a little more and labeling it was super helpful.
Do you remember your first like major episode? You're like, I need to go to the doctor.
I mean, my first big panic attack was at Disney World.
Pandemic Disney World too? It looked like apocalypse out there, probably. Dog. What happened?
I worked at Disney World during college, and I was a character performer. I was friends with, that's what you're supposed to say. I was friends with Pluto, Eeyore, Mrs. Incredible. And then I was tasked to wear the Buzz Lightyear costume, but I was like a little too small, but they didn't care because no one liked the Buzz Lightyear costume. It was like too big. The chest pack was overbearing. It was bad. And so I was arguing with my manager about it, and she was like, "You're lying. Everybody's trying to get out of this costume." Which I was like, then that's a sign that the costume is bad. But she didn't care. And I went out to these kids. I'm like sobbing underneath this costume.
You're looking yourself in the mirror. You're looking yourself in the mirror just with a Buzz Lightyear outfit on, just crying.
I'm not the best Buzz I could be.
So you were looking yourself and you're like, what am I doing? Did it just freak you out?
I still had to work. I had to go in front of these kids and like stamp my autograph on their books, and I was miserable. And the character attendant, who's like our eyes and ears, was like, "Hey, Buzz, are you okay? Like, thumbs up or thumbs down?" And I gave a big thumbs down. And then he tried to like usher me off the stage, but then Woody was like blocking the door and like hamming it up with a kid. And I guess panic ensued, and my lungs stopped working. And then I started hyperventilating, and you could hear it outside my costume. And they just like picked me up and rushed me backstage and took all the gear off of me, and they're like, "We think you had a panic attack," which I had never had before. So I was like, I guess I'll take your word for it. And then some old worker at Disney drove me to the medic and was like, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "I think I had a panic attack." And I was told like there were a lot of retired military vets who worked at Disney because I just wanted to like be around happy people all the time. And I don't know if this was the guy who was driving me, but I was like, yeah, I think I had a panic attack. And he goes, you don't know panic. And I was like, I guess I don't. I guess I don't. I have no idea what you've seen.
We are strong out here in Disneyland. We are powerful, fearless mascots, friends of Buzz Light. Oh my God. I just see the scene, like the backstage of wherever everyone's taking their break, or everyone's like taking off their masks and they're just like smoking a cigarette with like half their Pluto outfit on or half their Buzz outfit on. Like, man, fuck this job, you know? Dude. Especially the Buzz Lightyear one where you're wearing a big ass mask. I mean, like, I would hypervent if I'm like already having a panic attack and I'm wearing this big ass fucking outfit. No, hell no. So what they do, they just like pat you on the back and say, get back out there?
Well, after the panic attack, all these managers came and analyzed me in the costume, which was like hanging off of me. And they're like, we realize that you probably shouldn't wear this. So I got discharged from the costume. But I was like, I can't believe I had to like break down. Like, I can't believe I had to like have a panic attack for you to realize this probably wasn't a good fit for me.
Right. Did you tell your dad? Your dad's probably like, you know, Air Force. Like, I got discharged too, Dad. I got, but Buzz Lightyear outfit. he's like, yeah, that's my girl. When did you?
I tried to do my best at service, but they had to let me go.
Where in Disney? I mean, you were 19. You said college. It was a college gig.
This was college. This was 2007, and this was Disney World in Orlando. Because you were in Virginia. I mean, that's a tough school to get into. So you stayed in Virginia or what? And you just worked in Orlando? Yeah, it was like the Disney college program. So like it was kind of like an internship for a semester and a summer. And I got back to, I was studying theater at the time. And so when I got back, they were like, good job, but like you still have a lot of credits to make up. We don't know what these Disney credits are.
Oh, shit.
But I'm glad I did it.
What'd you learn?
I did learn a lot. It wasn't, honestly, it was more social skills because it felt like starting college over again. Like I was like with all these other students from other places and like international students. So it just felt like kind of a whole new world, if you will.
Oh, here we go. Let's go. I'll clap to that. That was a good one. There we go. Full circle, queen. No, I hear that. So what? I'm very fascinated. When did you start getting into wanting to be an actress, a comedian? Who was the first one that inspired you that you really loved that just made you, maybe it was an aunt, maybe it was your mom. Who was it?
Ooh, my family is very funny, but not on purpose. I don't think I looked at anybody and was like, wow.
Well, I'm going to be that. I'm going to tell those jokes. I'm going to be that.
Quite the opposite, honestly.
Yeah.
No, I was a big fan of I Love Lucy. I love Lucille Ball. She's very funny and obviously, and like quite the like entrepreneur of her era. I did watch The Nanny a lot. I was a fan of Fran Drescher. I loved Mad TV, SNL. Deborah Wilson probably is like the first like, ooh, I could do that because she was a Black woman doing sketch comedy, and I hadn't seen that before. Yeah. And she's so hilarious. Like her impressions were impeccable, and I think that was the first person I saw who I was like, that's someone like me. Like I'm like seeing myself on TV, and that's something I would want to do. I had no idea how to do it. I was like a fan of comedy, but had no idea how anyone got into it. And then I started doing improv in college at UVA. And then a touring company of the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater from New York came to perform and like teach classes and stuff like that. And I remember someone asked a question like, how do you get a career in comedy? And Bobby Moynihan, who later got on SNL, was like, you move to New York, you go to UCB, and you work really, really hard. And then like months later, got cast on SNL. And I was like, he knows what he's talking about. So I did exactly that. I moved to New York, started classes at UCB, and then, things kind of just fell into place. People saw me on stage. My agent saw me on stage. My manager saw me on stage. And then started booking commercials, and eventually realizing, oh, this is the path that a lot of the people I looked up to took.
Yeah.
So
Is the UCB in New York, feel like you have a better chance of making it on like an SNL versus the one in Chicago? Like, because all the talent agents are there?
talent agents definitely go to Chicago too. There's like a ton of Chicago comics who are all over the place. I think the Chicago comedy scene is like really bred for that. Like they take a very theatrical view of comedy, where New York is absolutely very serious about the comedy scene. But I don't know. It feels more experimental or something. I'm not quite sure how to compare them because I didn't come up in the Chicago scene. But I think people who know comedy or like casting comedians, I think they do know to go to New York and Chicago and LA to find the crop.
Yeah.
The crop of the scene.
Because wasn't SNL like dealing with they needed more diversity in when the years in auditioning? So were you getting when you got the gig? Was there like racism involved in it? As I'm trying to say, like, was there like?
Oh, I wouldn't say racism. I would say maybe like blind spots.
Yeah.
I got cast in 2014, but I think the first time I auditioned for the show was maybe 2011 or 12 or something.
Oh.
So they had already known me, and other Black women too.
Yeah.
But I guess there was like a sudden surge of public outcry for a Black woman on the show. So, they had this rushed audition, which was funny because as I was putting my tape together, I was like, this is my last run. I'm going to try one more time. And if I don't get it, I'm moving to LA and like trying other stuff. And I remember I put my character reel together and sent it to my manager for notes. And they're like, funny story. They need this right now. And I was like, what? Oh, okay. I didn't know they were doing it. It was like September or something, or October. I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know they were doing auditions because usually that happens like earlier in the year. But they wanted to hire someone that season to, I guess, rectify the lack of a Black woman. And so my tape in, they liked it. We did in-person testing where you're like in front of the camera and in front of Lorne and producers and other people. And I feel like I blacked out. Like I don't really.
You're just like like a raccoon in lights, like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so scary, dude.
I definitely left the stage feeling like that was the best thing I've ever done. Like I was like so confident that I couldn't have done better. I was like, if they don't want me, that is not my problem. Like I did it. I put it all out there. And then there were like interviews after that. And then I think in January, so all that happened in December. And then in January, I got the call that I got cast, and then I was in there.
Oh my God, I'm clapping for you because that's badass. Let's go. Perseverance. What did you, for the first 3 years, looking back, did you feel like you were ready those first 3 years of auditioning until you got it there? Did you feel like year 4 of your audition, like, I fucking nailed this thing now?
Yeah, I feel like I got cast when I was ready to be on the show.
Yeah.
I think if I got cast the year before that, I think I was too new, too green. And honestly, like I hadn't been like working that much when I got cast on SNL, but they also like hiring newbies. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I was in a sweet spot where I was ready to adapt and learn and grow and like try to thrive in this environment. And I feel like I left that place like a better writer, a better performer, a better like communicator of my ideas. Like I grew so much because it's like a boot camp for everything. Like I really left that place feeling like I can do anything, and it's like a really good place to be.
How cutthroat were the writing rooms?
I mean, it's like a numbers game because there were maybe like, I don't know, 18 writers, 17 cast members. Everyone's writing at least 2 sketches.
Right.
And then they can only read like 40 sketches during table read. We can only rehearse like 12 or something. And then maybe 8 go on air or something like that. I'm sure the numbers are wrong. I haven't been on the show for a long time. But I mean, I guess it's cutthroat, but also it's like there's no way to know. There's no way to know how things are getting picked. Like sometimes sketches get chosen because there's something super topical that week that we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Or this makes the host look really, really good. So we're going to use this kind of sketch because they're good at this character.
Yeah.
Or like Lauren thinks it's funny. So we're going to do that sketch. But it doesn't necessarily mean like these are bad sketches that we're not doing. This is like this week went this way and the next week will go a different way. Yeah. But I also think was good for like me learning how to like kill my darlings and like not be so attached, because it's like, all right, this has nothing to do with me. I can't predict this. It doesn't mean I'm not good at my job. It just means this is how it's going. So I can't get too like attached to this.
Any sketches that you're like, damn, that was I love that piece and it just didn't get on air? Like
I'm sure many. I'm sure many. I do remember I had like a fun Maxine Waters update. I can't remember what the game was at all, but like I remember like getting all the prosthetics on to make me look older in a costume, and like it was fun to do, and then it just got cut, and that's also a possibility. And that's how that goes. I do remember one like huge win for me. I pitched this Stranger Things sketch, and the idea was like, I guess I was thinking about Stranger Things and like how they were like running around looking for monsters and stuff like that. And I was like, where are the black kids' parents? Like, where's Caleb's parents? Because my parents would be like, what are you doing? Like, where are you going? Why are you always riding your bike at night with these white kids? Like, where are you going? And so I basically pitched that and was like, it's Stranger Things, but like the parents are like, what are you doing? And people laughed really hard. And then I wrote the sketch, and it was like the only sketch that I've written where it stayed the same until air. Like sometimes things get changed like during rehearsal, during the day of, during dress rehearsal, but it truly stayed the same until it aired, and it did so well.
Killed it.
The audience loved it. Lauren loved it. Yeah. I just felt like so proud of that. I was like, finally a win.
Well, who were your mentors during those years? Did you have a mentor that was kind of helping you through everything and kind of inspiring you to be great, or anyone?
Yeah. I mean, Keenan is wonderful.
Yeah.
He's such a wonderful human and so knowledgeable about TV, because he's been doing it since he was like, what?
It's crazy how long he's been
14 or something. Like,
it's crazy.
He's been doing it forever. So he's like, and he has a very chill vibe about himself too, which was putting me at ease. Like, oh, okay. He's not like taking in all this stress and feeling like it's a rat race and whatnot. He's kind of just like, it's a job. Mm-hmm. You come to work, you do a good job, and you go home. And I was like, I can do that. Yeah. And I feel like I got a lot from him. Bobby Moynihan was a huge support system for me. It was like awesome that like Bobby's the one who planted the idea of me like moving to New York and doing UCB. Yeah. And then I got to work with him, and we got to be on the show together at the same time. Like that was really
so
amazing.
Rad. Full circle moment.
Everyone's great. Yeah, everyone was absolutely rooting for each other. It was just like a interesting environment where only some things got floated to the top each week and some things didn't. But I think the people wanted everyone to win.
How was your anxiety level during this time?
All over the place.
Yeah.
I don't remember having any panic attacks while I was there, but also I do remember at some point reading about panic attacks because I hadn't had a big one in a long time. Mm-hmm. But I read something that was like, you can also have little ones where like your tongue is tingling and your fingers go numb. And I was like, oh, that happens to me all the time. And I was like, oh shit, I've been having little panic attacks for who knows how long. I have no idea.
Isn't it crazy? Like, we've been dealing with this probably our whole life. Like, my first panic attack was like 30, but I was probably having them when I was 10, 15, you know, like, it's like all of a sudden someone tells you.
Language for it.
Yeah. It's like anything in life, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like you get better at writing. It's like you finally become a writer in your brain. Like, you've always been writing, probably. You've always been making sketches up in your head. But someone says, now you're a writer or you're a comedian. Now you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm a writer. I'm a comedian, you know?
Yeah. You get to put a name on it and it feels more official, I guess.
How was your stand-up chops during this time? Did you have time to work on your chops? Were you doing spots and stuff?
I was, yeah. I feel really thankful that I did stand-up before I got on SNL. And I just kept doing it throughout because that felt so satisfying. Like, it was like instant gratification. If I had a bad week or even a good week at the show, I could go to a stage and perform and like get immediate feedback from the audience that I'm funny. And I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm good.
It's like, we're back.
We're okay. Yeah. And I do feel like I developed more of my voice during that time. And just kept doing stand-up. I'm very thankful because I think if I had just worked at the show and the show was my life, it would have been a lot. But thankfully, I was able to like hit the stage whenever I needed to like get out some other energy.
Totally. And so like after 2017, those 3-year period before the pandemic, what were you mostly focused on? Like, what was your brain wanting you to do? Writing, acting, comedy?
I would say kind of all of it. I released my first special, Pizza Mind, 2017. And I was touring and I was really like in the zone as far as stand-up goes. And I also wanted to be in a different show. So I was like auditioning for all these pilots. And I think the reason I moved to LA, because at first I was like, I'm in New York. I'm a New York baby. If someone needs to find me, I will be here. But then all these jobs kept pulling me to LA, and I was like, okay, the money's in LA. I will be in LA now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's I grew up in LA. I grew up in Calabasas, West Hills, and it's just so funny, the rat race in LA. It's so different than New York, right?
It does feel different, yeah. I mean, I'm very lucky that a lot of my friends already moved from New York to LA, so I kind of just like absorbed myself into their ecosystem already.
Yeah.
But it's different.
Any shows or movies you auditioned for that you regret not taking during those time, or regret like, or you wish you got that part?
I mean, yeah, but also like I feel like everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Like there's things I wanted for sure, but then it like that thing comes out and it's like, oh, it actually wasn't that good, or like it wasn't that well done. Or if I had gotten that job, then I wouldn't have had time to do this other job that I actually loved or whatever. So yeah, I think that there's always things that I really, really want to do, but then it doesn't happen for whatever reason. But then it's also like it opens the door for other things that actually need to be happening in my life and in my career.
Right. And when did you meet Nicole through all this?
I met her pretty soon after I moved to New York, like in 2009. And we were both doing UCB stuff. She was like one of few Black girls that were there.
Yeah.
And we kind of had a friend crush on each other. We were just like, oh my gosh, she's so cool and she's so cute and she's very funny. And we asked each other to perform, and we performed a couple times. And then there was another Black woman, Keisha Zoller, who is hilarious and killing it. And the three of us became a trio called Doppelganger. We called ourselves Doppelganger because people confused us for each other, which is ridiculous because none of us look alike.
I know, what the fuck?
We just are Black women.
So wild.
So we played with that. It's wild.
Isn't that shit wild? Does that offend you when shit like that happens?
It used to, but I've absolutely made that mistake with white people. So I'm like, okay.
I'm clapping to that. Let's go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I've definitely been like, wait, that's not Jessica Chastain. Like, I'm so, well, what?
So when did the relationship get so close where you wanted to like work with her all the time?
Pretty immediate.
She's so amazing.
She's so amazing. She's
I
the
love her
only
so much.
person who I could see her all day and still want to talk to her at night. Like
Yeah.
there was a time in New York where we'd go to the same commercial auditions, we'd get lunch together, we'd go to UCB and take classes, we'd go see a show or go do a show or go have rehearsal, we'd go have dinner, and then we'd go home and call each other on the phone to like talk about our day. And that's like, I don't have that kind of relationship with anybody else. Like, she's someone I can like truly talk to forever, which is why we have a podcast, because we can talk to each other uninterrupted for hours and hours and like still have fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you do have a wonderful voice. And like I found out this you're one of the voices in Call of Duty as well. Do you like doing that voice work? That's so crazy. That was such a random thought.
Fun.
Do you like that's where
it was very fun. I don't remember, because I guess they were casting comedy people. I remember the show that I did, or the game that I did, had Jay Farrow, Seth Green. Who else? Ike Barinholtz was in it. So yeah, they were looking for funny people, and it was like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a side game within Call of Duty.
Yeah, like a side quest.
Yeah. And it was more like cartoony and light. It wasn't so, kill.
Yeah.
You did kill zombies, but it wasn't like... I tried to actually... I had never played Call of Duty, and I had a friend who had it. So I was like, oh, I want to see what it's like. And however it started, like your player... like jumped off a cliff or something, or like into a hole, and then got a knife and like stabbed someone in the eye, and you watched the life drain out of their face. And I was like, this is what this game is?
This is America.
And that was like before the actual game started. I don't even think you were controlling it at that point. That's just like the pre-setup to whatever mission you were about to start. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. Well, my part's not like that.
My favorite thing, Woke, was amazing.
Yeah.
Were you proud of that?
It was fun to do. I was very proud of it. Yeah. I feel like we were like finding a really good groove, and it was like a show that was talking about like touchy issues, and we weren't shying away from stuff. Yeah. And I just had a lot of fun. Like, the cast was genuinely so funny. Like, Lamorne and I had a really great like on-screen like chemistry / like hate.
Yeah.
That was fun to play into. Yeah, it was super, super fun. But,
did you help write it?
Come and go.
Did you help write it, or?
I didn't, no. No, they did. They were very open to improv, which I love, and everyone on the show is good at improv. So we did like improvise a lot of stuff, but no, technically I was not a writer.
Why do you think it stopped?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I can never predict. Like, sometimes like people who work at the networks change over, and those people don't want to keep the shows that they didn't have anything to do with, or it's a numbers thing where it's like, oh, we didn't get as like high of a watching when this came out, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I never got a why. I wish we did get a third season. It would have been nice to like round it out.
Yeah.
I feel like we would have been able to like finish a story, but that happens sometimes.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, because you don't. For the writer too, it's like, all right, you're done. You couldn't even have closure on it. So now you have like this open-ended book of a show.
Yeah,
which was such a beautiful show.
Weird.
It does feel a little weird. At least like give the option to finish it up. What are you working on now? Mm-hmm. What are you working on now? You writing some stuff? Are you acting? Give me the deets for what's going on now. Well, you can't right now, but
special.
Yeah, you're special. Yeah,
yeah. I can't tell. Yeah, I'm not writing or acting, but my special is done and it's coming out August 15th, and I'm super proud of it. Like, my last one came out 2017, and I feel like I've grown so much as a comedian, as a performer, as a person, and I think that's really reflected in this special. And I'm just really excited for people to see something new.
Yeah, and how long did it take you to make it? How long were you working on the material for before you said, I think I'm ready?
That's a good question. I guess since 2017, but like some of the stories are like old stories that I didn't know what to do with. Like I talk about like this car accident that happened to me when I was at UVA in college, but like I didn't know what was funny about it yet, and I didn't know what I wanted to say about it. So yeah, sometimes I have stories just like sitting in this bank on my phone, and then eventually I'm like, oh, this connects to this idea, or like, oh, this thing that just happened to me reminds me of this thing that happened to me in the past, or whatever. So like I just like find new ways to like thread it with the other material I'm writing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's like, I guess I've been working on it for like 4 or 5 years, but also some of the stuff is very old and some of the stuff is very new as of like days before I actually got on stage to record.
Oh,
the album.
really?
So yeah, there's like, there's a punchline in there that I had never done but I was like, I believe so strongly that this is right. And it worked. So
Did it kill?
It did kill.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking go. See, sometimes like, why are we afraid to? Are you a person who is afraid to trust their gut, or like when you feel something in you, do you go out there and go attack it?
Yeah, I trust my gut immensely because I feel like it's been like what's helped me in my career and in my life thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can trust my gut more than I can trust anybody else.
Do you feel like you have to work harder being a woman in this industry?
I guess yes and no. Sometimes people are looking for a woman, so
Yeah.
it's nice because
Yeah.
I'm like, here I am.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, there are times where I'm auditioning or playing to a room full of people who are not like me and maybe don't understand my viewpoint, and that can like not get me a job or not get me whatever because they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. They don't have to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like sometimes people get things because whoever's paying the thing or hiring for the thing, they're like, oh, I want to hire someone who reminds me of myself.
Right.
And then we get in this cycle of people who look the same, getting the same kind of jobs. But
That's
I do
fucked
think
up.
it's changing.
Right?
That's just like bias. That's just how it is. Yeah. Like people don't know they're doing that.
Yeah.
Or they do and they don't care. But I think most of the time people are like, oh, I just saw like a scrappy young man who reminded me of me.
Yeah.
But not thinking I should probably make an effort to find people who aren't like me because they have valuable voices too.
Yeah.
But I do think it's getting better. And I'm absolutely seeing more diversity in comedy and in the entertainment industry. And I just hope it keeps trending upward.
Right. Because I feel like, this whole idea of creature of habit is ruining evolution in a sense. Because if we're just keep on doing the same circle and we're not growing ideas and trying to find different opinions and different feelings, how are we going to grow as a society?
I 100% agree. Yeah, we need diverse voices because the world is diverse and we need it to be reflected in the art that's being created.
Right. This has been so wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I got one last question, and I'll let you go get out there, get some sun in Mexico, go have fun. Fuck the writer's strike. Don't even worry about it. Go out there and be beautiful. Even though it's stressful. I could even, musicians don't get a union. They're like, oh, you don't want a gig?
You really need one.
I know. We're stuck, dog. We got to go play in like Poughkeepsie, Kansas if there's a union, or like it's some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. From what I've heard, the music industry is not great either.
Yeah, it's horrible. So my last question for you is, when it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered by?
Wow. I want to be remembered for doing things that feel authentic to me. I hope people see the work that I do and they're like, oh, that feels like Sasheer. That feels like Sasheer would make that thing. It feels like Sasheer would do that thing. It aligns with like her personhood and her values, and yeah. And I relate to it. I hope people can relate to what I'm doing too.
Authenticity. I love it. Thanks for being on the show, Sasheer. And have a great day. And keep fighting the good fight, Queen. We got you, dog. We got you.
Hell yeah.
Have a good one. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.